What is up, y'all? What is up? We are on day 14, and now we still are going to be sticking to, I want to say, hardware, but we are going to actually probably change this mini goal because instead of it being learning about hardware, I feel like we kind of know about that. It's still going to be hardware, but we're going to get into the specs of things. So I want to learn a lot about wattage. I want to learn about cores. I want to learn about, a bunch of those different things just so that I could kind of understand. Let me go see real quick too, because I think I've copied it down because I want to make sure that oh damn, you know what? I probably left it all the way back up here. Let me grab my other phone too real quick. Hopefully it isn't dying. It isn't, just in case if we get a couple of chats today. But yeah, so normally on my days off, I like to stream from literally any time of the day. But when it comes to, I will say Tuesday through Saturday, it will always be 12 p.m. EST. So sorry about that, that when it comes to my days off, it's a little bit at a different time, so y'all probably don't really know when to show up. But yeah, that's pretty much how we do it here. So, real quick, I still want to see if I could find these modules as of right now, because I do have a little bit of what I want to be learning. I think it's like way up here though. I gotta like take a screenshot of this or something so I don't gotta continue to scroll up here. At some point it might end up deleting, but I believe we're getting into the specs of, we're module 2 now, and we're gonna be getting into CPU specs, as that is cores, threads, gigahertz, cache. Then we're gonna be getting into RAM, with the capacity being the gigabytes, megahertz being the speed, which I didn't even know. I thought megahertz, I don't know, I guess we'll look into that. Channels as single versus dual, and then we got to get into storage, read/write speed, SATA versus NVM, which we kind of already got into earlier. SATA versus NVM. Oh wait, no. Oh yeah, because SATA oh wait, never mind, because I think that's SATA SSD versus NVM SSD, which isn't something that we've done. We got GPU, we got to see the VRAM, the clock speed, the CUDA cores, then the power supply, wattage and amperage, connectors. So hopefully, we could find a pretty good website that could explain some of these things. So we're going to start first with the CPU specs. And I'm going to jump shipped with the screen right now so y'all can see everything. We got to switch this to be day 14 as well. We got to jump to the screen, and as y'all can see, we have this right here talking about the CPU specs, and then kind of getting into it with the cores, then the threads, and then the gigahertz clock speed and the cache. Now, the hardest part about this is just, I couldn't really find a website that I feel like would have explained it well. So I hope y'all don't get too upset for me taking notes from this, from Google's AI overview. I think hopefully that they've done a pretty good job pointing this out. And so if you are somebody who actually knows the answer or maybe a better website, you could definitely recommend it to me, and I will go searching for it to go find it. But right now, this is what we're going to get into. So I'm going to write down CPU specs. Am I bad for not doing a Bible study on this Sunday? Because I've done 2 Bible studies on Sundays, and then I stopped these last 2 Sundays. And it's not that I'm not doing like a Bible study like at home and stuff. Well, I didn't do a Bible study at home, but I did like a then I realized that I'm gonna have to keep moving this lighting. But I didn't do a Bible study at home, but I did do like a Bible like a home church type of thing. But I didn't want to, do a Bible study on top of me doing a studying for IT support. So I'm gonna probably have to figure out where I'm gonna do that. What I'm probably thinking is I could probably go live on YouTube Shorts and then do a Bible study on my YouTube Shorts could probably be the best thing to do. But who knows? So we got CPU specs include the number of cores, processing units, threads, tasks. So we got to write all that down. So includes the number of cores of processing units. Ooh, oh, God bless me. I wonder if it's true that when you sneeze, does your heart actually stop for like a second? It's crazy. That's always been something that I was told when I was younger that that's true, or I guess that's like a fact. But then I'm like, I never really looked into it, so I wonder how truthful that is. And you know what's strange? Like, I was watching a video the other day where people would talk about how eating food that they've noticed around the age like 27 to almost 29, or they didn't say food, but they said that like they felt like their age started to catch up to them. And I really believe, like, with everything going on with people, whether it's like and I'm not saying for everybody. I think some people, of course, there's just some complications, but I think a lot of things come down to like the food that you eat. You know what I'm saying? And then even the products that you use. And I know it would be kind of crazy to be like, okay, so let me cut out this product, let me stop eating this, let me do this. Like, because maybe, you're putting in, you're like ideologizing like your health, basically, trying to always focus on your health more than anything. But I feel like there's still, that doesn't just mean that eat everything that you know is gonna just hurt you in the end. Like, because that in itself could be an addiction. Like, if you can't, if your doctor's telling you to stop drinking soda because soda's like messing with your heart, man, like, you gotta stop drinking soda. You can't sit there and be like, well, God gave us all of this to eat and drink. I will be fine. I'm like, well, the doctor's legitimately telling you you're not gonna be fine drinking this soda. Like, God did give us all this stuff. But, we are, as America, we end up putting in a lot of extra things like salt, sugar. Like, you're doing too much, you know what I'm saying? And so we have to really like cut back on our own on these foods. And I've been noticing a lot of people who are closer to their 30s who always say the same thing, like they could feel their age or they could feel their body. And I'm like, man, it's literally coming down to the food that you're eating. Especially too, like some people would probably say, oh, but back then, my older, grandparents or whatever, they used to eat bad from, 0 to 64. They never changed their diet and they're still fine. And it's like, well, for one, they're not fine. They actually have a lot of health issues. But then two, it's like you don't really know if back then those McDonald's fries didn't have as much salt as they have now. So it's like you really gotta pay attention to those things because they be changing stuff like that. And that's why people get all types of messed up because they're not focused. You gotta make sure that we eat healthy. But that's something that I gotta make sure I do too. But I'm 22 years old, but in my head, it's like, I really want to start early with a healthier diet. Because if you end up starting too late, and then you end up getting something like wrong with you or whatever the hell, it's like, like I want to be able to start. I at least by 25 want to have a like clean diet. The only problem is though, is I'm a bad eater. And so when it comes to like eating food, I don't eat tons of it. So I kind of like, as you can see, like my wrist, like I'm tiny. Like I probably weigh, I want to say like 127. Like I've always been around that area, like 122 to 130. But I never really hit 130. But it's just like I could move up or down, but I would never go down 122 or I would never go higher than 130. And I kind of just chill there. And if I'm really like not eating or trying to eat healthy, I guess, and like I'm just eating in like sections, like it's not like full 3 meals a day healthy wise. I always end up losing weight and just dropping really down to like 122. And I'm like, yeah, no. So for me, I have to learn some healthy foods that I could enjoy and actually still gain weight. Because some people say, like, oh, well, you could eat like walnuts or I forgot what peanut it is. It could just be peanuts. Peanuts is good, but the other peanuts that they be talking about, like, I just don't like the way it tastes to me. And at least if I'm eat healthy, like, I want to eat something that I feel like tastes good. I be seeing people who be eating healthy and they actually like what the hell they eat. Like, I don't like seafood. So a lot of healthy people, they try to eat fish. I'm like, I can't eat fish. Like, y'all don't. It's unfair to me. It is unfair to me. But I could definitely cut out soda. And I remember I've cut out soda before for like 4 months. And then I let myself get a tiny sip. And now I've been addicted ever since. But I try to really cut down on soda, trying to drink at least once a day. But I'm trying to cut it out completely because like I feel like you could legitimately feel the effects of drinking soda. Whether it's like your stomach starts feeling funny. I don't know, man. Gotta sit here and get on a better diet. And then also too, man, I was looking at like the foods that pregnant women, I don't know why I stumbled across this article, but it was like the foods that pregnant women can and can't eat because it could do things to like the baby and stuff like that. I was like, damn, I've never seen a pregnant person in my life, like in person, who actually tried to eat like a healthier diet for the baby. So I'm like, maybe that could be the cause to like a lot of things going wrong pregnancy wise because people just aren't, they're not eating correctly. And I'm not saying that's everything that happens, but food really can mess people up and they don't know that. So now we're getting into the cores right now, by the way. Just have to, I know y'all can see the screen, but I don't know, food could be messing people up. So that's why we gotta make sure that we eventually like start eating well. It says what it is, the number of independent processing units on a single CPU chip. And like I said, I believe with the cores, it comes down to, literally, what am I trying to say? I think it's more cores that you have than gigahertz or something like that. I'm not sure, then the number of gigahertz is better. So it says the number of independent processing units. Oh wait, what the hell am I writing? I don't even know. I'm writing something strange. But no, yeah, man, food could really screw us up. And then, like I said, even with products, like there's stuff that they put in our products that can literally like eventually give you cancer, could do this, could do that. And it's obviously you're not gonna be thinking like if you got cancer like long in the future, you're not gonna think you got cancer from your products. But it's possible that it could have been from a product that you were using and that your body just wasn't able to handle compared to other people's. Like other people's bodies, they're more fragile to certain things. And I'm not saying like completely try to avoid these things because of course you can kind of build like an immune to it, not cancer, but you know what I'm saying, like you don't want to like completely get rid of it and then you start using it and you're like, damn, now I'm feeling crazy right now. But it's like food really is important and it really can dictate like what happens to our children when we eat while we're pregnant. It could dictate what happens with us as we get older. But man, it's tough. It's tough to eat healthy. I 100% agree. But I've always learned like people always see like if you do something and you show yourself doing it, people can always feel encouraged and it could even help other people, get healthier or to pursue something that they've always wanted to pursue. But like I said, my biggest thing is I really struggle with weight gain. That I feel like if I switch to healthy food, like I'm definitely dropping below 120. Definitely dropping below 120. I think I only stay the same weight because I do eat like junk food or like food that has a lot of fat in it. But I don't eat a lot of food. I just eat food that has a lot of fat. But it's just hard to eat. I don't know how to explain it to people. It's tough. Like unless you're a skinny person and you actually have like a bad appetite, I feel like nobody will understand that unless you're in that position. Because there's some people who yes went from skinny to being big, but that doesn't mean like you probably didn't have a bad appetite. You probably just now learned like, oh, I should eat these foods and that's how I'm gonna get fat. It's like for me, my appetite is bad. Like especially too if I continue to eat the same type of food, like I literally can start gagging at like the same food that I just found delicious 2 weeks ago and then never eat it again. There's been too many times where I could do that. Whereas like I've been eating something so consistently and I get sick. He said hertz is the speed in which the CPU runs. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Thank you for that because probably wouldn't have understood that at all. I mean, well, it does say gigahertz clock speed, so I feel like I probably would have got to that point. But let's see. Also, too, I want to see a little bit of things as well when it comes to. I'm doing the multi-threaded applications. I also want to see when it comes to, am I right about having more cores rather than having more gigahertz? And then what are threads, right? I never really heard of a thread. And then how could I look at a computer and know which is the better computer? Is it the higher the cores, less gigabytes, or could it be higher cores, more gigahertz? I said gigabytes. More cores, more gigahertz is the best one. It's going to be more expensive. I kind of want to be able to see how can I read these specs to being able to know that this is good for a computer or this is what I would want to buy for a computer. It says video editing or 3D rendering. Then I need more cores. No, I'm just kidding. So we got an example here. I'm not sure if I should write it down. Actually, I guess I will because examples are pretty much easier to do. So we got a quad core CPU. A quad core CPU has 4 processing units. And it says while a hexa-core CPU has 6. Oh, I didn't know. Hexa-core CPU has 6. So that's pretty good to know. Now we can finally move on to the threads here. So we got what it is, and it's a set of instructions for a process that a CPU can execute. Oh, okay, I had no idea. Actually, I had no idea what a thread was at all. So glad to be able to take this note here and get a little bit into these threads. I cannot wait, man. Like the more I'm learning about the hardware of these computers and really kind of trying to understand like the specs and understand everything, I truly feel like it makes me want to like dead buy a computer and break it apart. I'm gonna go look it up on eBay probably after this to see like maybe the cheapest computer I could get that's still kind of like modern So the GPUs and the RAM looks very similar to like what I'm gonna be working with. Even if the computer is broken, right? As long as it has all its pieces, and I could get that for like 120, and the computer's like dead broken, like won't work. I don't care. The goal is to just break it apart and put stuff together. And I just can't wait to do that on live, man. Obviously, I'm not going to be teaching anyone how to do it because I don't know how to do it my damn self. But at some point, I could eventually teach people. And I think that would be pretty lit. You said also for me, it really helped to learn from videos instead of text. I don't know, it might just be me, but it really boosted my knowledge. No, yeah, because I was going to say, I've learned with people. It's really different for a bunch of people. For me, I can't learn off of a video at all. I don't know what it is, but it's been like that since school. I've always hated when they put a video on. I'm like, no, like I need a textbook. Like I don't know what it is. But videos are it's so hard for me to like focus, and then it's hard for me to because sometimes I'm thinking they're saying like nonsense, so then I can't tell whether it's something I need to know rather than something I don't need to know. And they be going all over the place. Like I'm like I need something that's like direct, and I feel like either a textbook or obviously looking it up on a website for me I think is the best to learn. I cannot watch a video. Maybe if I'm watching a video though and they're like breaking apart a PC and then putting it back together, like that's probably when I would need a video so I could follow along. But I can't learn nothing from a video, man. It's tough. It is tough for me. And then also too, like with even going live as well, even if you show like a little bit of a YouTube video, and it's so weird because it could be under fair use, but then it's like they'll literally take down your whole entire live stream for nothing. I'm like, I only showed 3 seconds of this YouTube video, but that's not the only reason why I wouldn't do a video. It's just tough. So how's it going so far? I think it's been going very well so far. We finally got through module 1, which is like this little course thing that I created. Well, me and ChatGPT created. So I got a lot into like understanding what a lot of hardware looks like and where it gets placed on the motherboard, which I like never knew before at all, and then kind of what the hardware does as well, which is very helpful. But right now I'm just coming down to trying to learn the specs of the computer so I can kind of see like, okay, if I'm buying a CPU, which is the better CPU, and which one could actually, it's not the best CPU, but it could still work for me, or the GPU or whatever. Same thing with the RAM. Do I need how many gigabytes do I need? Same thing with the power supply too. If I were to ever build a computer, of course, but if I'm not building the computer, then this type of stuff wouldn't matter. But I have a feeling one of these days I would love to build my own computer. But you gotta learn about the wattage and like I guess if you overbuy wattage, I guess it's not like a bad thing to do, but in my head it's like, wouldn't it just technically be like a waste of money? I'm not saying you need to get the exact wattage because no, that would be wrong because eventually your computer is gonna need to update and is gonna need more wattages. But I think it's like, what was it? I think it's like 1.5 times they said more just in case for updates and stuff like that. But I was thinking like, what if I bought hella wattages? Or I love how I said hella wattages. What if I bought a power supply that has hella wattage on it? But then I'm like, would that just be a waste of money? Because in the sense of it's not going to use all of it until it needs to, but it probably never would if I went that high. So I'm like, you really got to figure out. Well, they normally said do like 1.5 times, I think. So you don't got to figure out nothing. But that was just my thought process when I seen that. I'm like, wouldn't I just want to get the best one? I guess not, because, it would just be a waste. Unless your computer eventually uses it, then I guess that's fine. But yeah, so I was just learning a couple of things like that. And I think I came a pretty long way so far, at least when it comes to the hardware of things. But the goal is to try and learn, the basics and learn the fundamentals. Just because I don't know too much about a computer. And I also don't know what's going to really pop up for the CompTIA A+, because I do plan on eventually studying for that at some point. But, with the CompTIA A+, they kind of assume that you know the fundamentals. So I'm like, I'm going to have to obviously do this part on my own and then eventually try to study for the CompTIA A+. And hopefully I studied enough of the fundamentals to where I could take that damn test. Or not take the test, but study for it. So it's not like they're teaching me twice because I'm like, what the hell? What are they talking about? And then I got to go look it up and then jump back. Like, it would be crazy. So hopefully I know enough, but I really don't know, like, I'm not being guided by a course or something. And that's why part of me kind of like thinks like, damn, I wish there was a course that could kind of guide you of what you need to learn without having to pay for it. You know, something like free code camp, but do it for IT. Because at least like I just need a structure. I just need a simple structure. Having to jump from like website to website and then kind of hope that they're giving me the knowledge that I need is quite difficult. So now we're getting into the gigahertz clock speed. So now this is the CPU can execute cycles measured in gigahertz. What was I just saying? I forgot what the hell I was getting at. Nope, yep, I forgot. That's crazy. But yeah, so I don't know. Learning all this stuff is gonna be super lit at some point. I cannot wait to finally use this and eventually just make my own damn PC or break apart a PC, show y'all me doing it on live. That would be crazy. Oh yeah, if there was like a guided course, I think that would be so much more easier. But that's why for me, like as I'm learning, I'm already kind of thinking of like when I get a little bit more knowledgeable in what I know here, I want to make my own courses so that people could kind of also have like more or less a guide. But depending on how much time it takes for me to make the course, especially because I'm working a regular job and stuff like that, I feel like I might charge it, but it would only be like it would have to be way less than what freaking I don't even know like Google IT support be doing because they're trying to do like $50 a month. I'm like, why can't you just let me buy this in total for $20? Like I know you make more money that way, but I don't know. Like they just be doing something crazy. So I feel like if I did the course, I would probably do like a $20 course, you buy it and then you have it forever. I know that obviously, like I said, they would make more money, but I'm not gonna sit here and just keep charging people until they learn something, until they pass this, do that. Like, nah. But granted, it is a certification that some people do look at and take seriously. So maybe they're like, yeah, we ain't playing. Like, we're gonna make sure we get our money's worth for this. But I don't know. So now we're getting into what is it or what it does. So a higher gigahertz means the CPU can complete more instructions per second. A 4.0 gigahertz processor can perform 4 billion cycles per second. Oh my goodness. That's wild then. So I wonder what is the average gigahertz for a CPU then? What is the average? And then each core, doesn't it come with a gigahertz or am I tripping? I could be wrong. 4 processing units. Yeah, I'm not positive. Not positive. That might have to be something I look into. A higher gigahertz means the CPU can complete more instructions. So this is pretty good to know. By the way, if y'all are new here, man, make sure you end up hitting that subscribe button. I plan on coming on every single day to come and learn about IT support. So yeah, definitely hit that sub button, man. This is something I'm gonna be hella consistent on. I'm already on day 13 or 14, something like that. And it's been 14 days straight that I've been hopping on every single day to at least study for about 45 to an hour. Sometimes I did even more. So it's pretty lit here. I'll stay very consistent. I can't believe 14 days straight is crazy. But I do have a video coming out later today about something that I ended up achieving for web dev. So if you're someone who's here for web dev a little bit, because you know that series eventually is going to come to an end when I continue to, pursue IT support. But I have a good little video that's going to be dummy lit. It's going to be answering something that a lot of y'all have been asking about, and I think it's gonna be super cool. It was supposed to come out yesterday, but like I said, I just been so like slacking when it comes to content or videos because I be dead living life, and I just be with family, like whether it's my family or my partner's family, and then I'm like, I can't let YouTube, I don't want to sit there and like be panicking like, oh, I need to get this YouTube video out, especially when I'm not like that big of a YouTuber and people probably aren't gonna even really watch it like that. Or y'all probably will, who knows? But it's like, I always got to remind myself that, it's okay to live life a little. But I've just always been someone who wants to work on everything. I want to get good at editing, get good at this, get good at that, get good at math, get good at reading. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, girl, you have to pick a spot. Like, pick somewhere to focus on. I'm always somebody who's like all over the place wanting to do everything at once. But that's why, with this YouTube channel, it's been a little bit more easier because it makes me focus really hard on one thing at the same time. Well, in a way, because yes, it helps me focus on IT support, but then it's also like I'm focusing on YouTube as well by itself. And then it's like, so at least I'm doing two things at the same time whenever I'm free that I could stay like consistent on. I just pray that, all of this could really motivate people to, do their own thing. Like, if I could get up every day and study, you get up every day and study as well. And just understand that at some point, like you never know the skills that I could be learning right now when it comes to editing my video. And even though it may not be working for my channel, you never know if by the time I'm like 40, I have all this editing knowledge and then boom, I just applied to something to like edit for them, not thinking I would get it. And then boom, I could end up just being an editor at like 40 years old, which would be wild then, but you know what I mean? Like you never know the skills that you learn when you're younger if they can ever transfer into something if they can ever transfer into something later on down the line. So here's cachet or catch. I think it's catch, but I always say cachet or cash. But I don't know why I say it like that. Maybe I'm tripping. But for some reason, I love saying it like that. There's another word too that I always mispronounce, but I don't care. Damn, I forgot what it is. I remember I texted it to my brother or said it to my brother one time, and it had him rolling. I was like, I don't care. I think it sounds better that way. But no, yeah, man, you never know the skills that you learn when you're younger if they can ever become something or even be translated into something else. That's my biggest thing, like for this channel and just in life, is to always learn something, always have skills somewhere. You just never know when you will be needed at all. Even like with having a little bit of knowledge of like JavaScript, you never know if randomly someone needs you to just code something, and that could be like your way in. It's crazy. Just gotta make sure that you're hella skillful, but then also too make sure the skills that you're working towards is also a hobby too, because you don't want to sit there and be trying to work towards something you're specifically like, this needs to work, I want this to really work, and then it's like, eventually if it doesn't work you're gonna fall off anyway because in your head you always see it as like an income source. For me, I love doing content, I love talking to people, chatting with people. I don't care how many views I get, I don't care how many people are chilling with me. Of course, like if y'all are in here, I care about y'all, but I'm saying in the sense of like I don't really mind what I'm getting. I do it for fun. Obviously, I'm not getting paid for it, so what else am I doing it for? Some people who get paid for it, you can kind of tell when they're doing it for money. Like the other day, I was just watching this dude. I don't want to give too much away because his video did end up going viral, so I'm like, I don't want people to know I'm talking about him, but basically there was like this dude and I ended up hopping into his live after he made this like certain video. And in the live stream, he was talking about, it's hard to force yourself to play a game that you don't want to play. And like, just for, well, he didn't say like just for the views or just for money, but you could kind of tell that's what he was getting at. Because he was like, it's hard to force yourself to do it. But then it's like, okay, so then why do you force yourself to do it? And like I said, in a way, that's kind of like selling your soul when you sit there and you do things to specifically, when you do things to specifically like get paid or for views. It's like, I don't know. That's crazy. You said, are you still learning to code? No, I'm not. Well, technically, like behind the scenes, I'm still learning to code. But on like content wise, not too much. I feel like my YouTube videos are still kind of around web dev, but at some point I am gonna plan on doing like a pivot to IT support and studying tech knowledge instead. But as of right now, a good couple of my videos are gonna still be a little bit centered around web dev because I got a couple of things that I've achieved that I want to release to y'all, and then I'm going to completely transfer and pivot and stuff like that. But in behind the scenes, I should still be learning how to code. I'm just not gonna do it on live stream or in any YouTube videos. After these last couple of videos come out, pretty much. But yeah, because I still have to learn like a lot. But the thing is, too, is that I really want to keep my focus on one thing at the same time. So I'll probably only really learn a little bit of coding when I'm freer. Because I do need to end up learning React and learning Tailwind and finally getting into those frameworks. But I don't even know if Tailwind is counted as a framework, but you know what I mean. Just learn some stuff that I got to get into, but I'm just not gonna do it for content anymore because I really want to focus on this. And another thing too that I was looking into, because I was looking into like becoming an electrician, which I feel like I personally wouldn't mind doing that because I've always been someone who's so interested in like hands-on type of work. Like I want to do stuff that actually is gonna make shit like work or be fixed, yada yada, or installing stuff. So, especially because with being an electrician, you could do it for your own crib. You know, my biggest thing is to try and like learn stuff myself to fix things. And okay, so we finished cash, whatever the hell you pronounce it. We finished that, so we finally got all these written down. But my goal is to always try to learn stuff pretty much where it could be beneficial in the future, whether it's as a income, hobby, or it could help myself, like learning how to fix your car. But I was looking at that, and it takes like about 20-ish years. I mean, 20-ish years is crazy. It takes about like 5 years to be able to pretty much like even learn um or to get your electrician license. Sorry, my bad. I'm like all over the place. But to even get your electrician license, it takes 5 years to even get there. And I'm like, damn, that's a long ass time to be sitting there trying to like study your A off to just become an electrician. I don't know, man, but in my head, I could kind of see myself doing it because I guess you can get in like an apprenticeship where they could pay you pretty decent, and then you kind of do that for 5 years or so, and then you get your license and stuff like that because you're getting the hours, and then you're also learning your class hours 2 days out the week and studying and stuff like that. So I'm like, I guess that wouldn't be too bad. I think I could definitely do that, but in my area, there's only one program around me that does that, so I would literally need to apply and then just kind of hope that I get picked. So that's something that I was also looking into. I'm like, maybe I could go for that at some point as well. And then I could document that too. Shoot, I'm an electrician. I mean, not my job, but I could document the learning process of that. So I'm like, hey, I might have to apply for it, put myself on that waiting list. I don't care when it happens because it's still a good paying job. Unless I landed a network engineering role, then that's going to be a little bit difficult. Because if I get into network engineering by the time they accept me, then it's kind of like I'm probably going to be getting paid like closer to $30 an hour or get paid $30 an hour. And then I'm probably going to have to jump shift backwards to getting paid less just to do the apprenticeship. I'm like, that'd be a little tough. But now we got to get into, I feel like we got a lot of the CPU specs. At least we got into like what it is, what it does, right? The only thing I'm confused about, or not confused, because it says what it is, this is small high-speed memory located directly on the CPU and it allows the CPU to retrieve data much faster. So in my head it's like, is it always, the higher numbers is the best? I'm assuming, right? That has to be the goal. The higher number is the best. Real quick, let me see RAM, because now we got to get into that and see what's better to do there. Drag this over, and I'll be showing you on my screen shortly. I want to find stuff about RAM real quick. But also still kind of look at the specs. So let's go jump back here. And this is the introduction to the CPU, the product line. As I said, where's the AMD? But I guess it's right there. But I don't know if that's, because my AMD says Ryzen. So this must be like an older website, because Ryzen's not in there at all. Here's the process specification. So it does get a little bit deeper into it here. I could have used this. Originally, CPUs were manufactured with a single core that did all the work. As computers became more advanced, it was found that a single core could no longer handle the workload. So it says CPU is becoming a bottleneck. The solution was add more cores. Okay, so each core is basically a whole new processor. So by adding a second core, the power of CPU essentially doubled. Yeah, so the more cores that you have seems to be the best thing that you could do. That was something I wanted to see. We got hyper-threading is how Intel increases multitasking efficiency, which I think we got that. Yeah, we wrote that down, so then that's good. I just wanted to make sure we got that. There's a turbo boost. It is available on many Intel CPUs. I'm wondering about the AMD. Probably not. Increases the CPU's frequency when additional processing power is needed. Okay, that's nice. Turbo core is AMD's version. Oh, okay, so overclocking the CPU according to the workload. While the end result is similar, there are a few significant differences. I'm not sure if I really need to care about the turbo core or the turbo boost. Maybe if I am debating on which one to pick. L2 cache, a smart cache is essentially an L3. Wait, that's what we wrote down, right? It says L3 is often called the smart cache by Intel. Yeah, so this has multiple L1, L2. It says each level getting larger but slightly slower than the last. Oh, okay, so it gets larger but slightly slower. So you might not want to go up. Maybe. There's the graphics core speed. Yeah, so we pretty much got all of that down pat. So I think we got everything we needed for the specs of the CPU. We kind of can look at a CPU maybe and really be able to pick that apart. I don't know what this website was, but I wanted to look at Part Picker just to see, because Part Picker is kind of like the best thing to do if you want to, you know, see what we are kind of learning at, especially when it comes to specs. So let's go and look up the CPU. This is a CPU cooler. I actually need the CPU. I guess maybe we just look up the processing. What is it called? The CPU is called the. I always forget. I don't even know the processor. The processor. Let's see if that pops up. Yeah, right here. Let me look at mine. Well, I don't know exactly what mine's is because there's a couple of them. Like I have a Ryzen 9, but I know that sometimes it could be like a Ryzen 9 and then have a different X3D. So then that could kind of throw you off. But let's see, how many cores does this have? Oh, this has 16 cores. The thread count is 32. Let me review a little bit of what the thread count was. It says it's like hyper-threading. It allows a single core to handle 2 threads at the same time, increasing efficiency. So a 6-core CPU with hyper-threading can process 12 threads concurrently. So mine's saying it could do 32. That's insane. It's a way to improve performance by allowing a core to work on more than one thing at once. Oh, okay, so then that's pretty dope. And then you got the performance core clock, which is 43 gigahertz. Performance core boost clock, 5.7 gigahertz. I'm not sure if these are high numbers. They probably are, especially, and if they're not, either way, this is the core per core count too, I believe. So I think it's like 4.3 gigahertz per each core. So it's kind of like, it's definitely a lot in the end, like in the grand scope of things. And then it also has a L2 and an L3. I thought they can only have one, so I guess that's something to think about. And then there was something else I wanted to look at. Oh, it doesn't include a CPU cooler. Oh, wait, never mind. I think this is because you're buying it like separately. So yeah, I think that's pretty dope. It comes box, packages. And then what is the price for this? Like if I ever wanted to legitimately buy this. Oh, damn. That's expensive as hell. That's probably why my computer was expensive, bro. Actually, I don't even remember what the price of this computer was. It was like 1,000 something. It was either 1,000 something or I got it just under 1,000. It had to have been 1,000 something. There's no way. This is like $700 if you get it at Best Buy, which is normally where I buy stuff. So never again. Well then even if you buy it here too, it's if you don't have Prime shipping, it's not free. So it's probably gonna be even more money. So I guess you might want to go here, but they probably have a thing. Maybe it's not as like, yeah, it looked like they scam. No, I'm just kidding. Now let me stop. But no, yeah, so that's pretty dope. I feel like I finally am able to kind of understand it a little bit. Now, when it's saying Zen 5, I'm assuming this is probably trying to be like, because it's a micro architecture. I'm assuming, I don't know, like Zen 3, Zen 4, Zen 5. Is that supposed to be like a different generation, basically? Like how you have like the PS4, PS5, PS6, or is that something completely different? The core family is the Granite Ridge. What are we talking about here? Maybe we don't need to know. And then I think we got into the socket types like the other day. Let me do a little bit of this review. I think we did. Maybe it was long ago. Where the hell are my sockets? I guess I never did. I definitely remember writing AMZ5 before, though. So maybe I'm tripping or I'm just not looking too well. My CPU socket type. AMZ5. I definitely wrote that down. Oh, maybe I'm thinking of ATX. Maybe I'm thinking of ATX and not AMZ. Because that seems to be a little bit different then. Alright, so maybe I gotta look at these socket types at some point. I don't know when. Or maybe I could probably look at it now because we are already with the CPU. I feel like I swore in everything I took a note of this, but I think it does make more sense to do it here anyway. But other than that, it's kind of like I could really legitimately read everything here now. Before, I would have looked at this and been like, what? Then the manufacturer is AMD, which we already got that. And I kind of want to look up socket types. And then like, I want to look up, not series, micro architecture. I think when it's Zen 5, I think it is what I believe it to be. So it says a socket AM5 is a zero insertion. I think my biggest thing is like do this. So we got AM4, AM3 or something. Or yeah, because I want to see, is there like an AM4, AM3, or am I tripping? AM5 supports the DDR5. What the hell? Now that made that even worse because I know I got notes for the DDR. But what the hell are we talking about? Yeah, I know I got notes for the DDR here, so that's good. At least I got into that. Also, maybe it's about what is like it's compatible with. Maybe that's the biggest thing. Oh yeah, maybe because it's I think you have to match it with the motherboard. That might be it. Because it looks like you need to match it with the motherboard. So the CPU socket type is AM5, so you might want to get a motherboard that can utilize a socket. But this is AM3 though, but unless the AM5 is similar. But maybe that matters depending on, why does this matter? Let me see. Why does this matter? Let me see. Maybe they can explain it. Because it provides access to the latest AMD CPU architectures and its new platform features enables higher performance through technologies like DDR5 RAM. So this is crucial for gamers. So maybe it's not what I was saying. Because AM5 supports CPUs like thermal design. It's designed for the AMD's newest CPU architecture, such as the Ryzen 7000 series, which offer higher performance and efficiency. I mean, I get that it's higher. Maybe I don't need to really care about it. If I'm gonna buy a computer, just make sure it's AM5. Pretty much, or CPU. Alright, so we pretty much got into that. We can get out of the part pickers. I feel like I kind of understand that. We could X that out. And then let's get into a little bit of the RAM here. I guess I don't need to write down the socket types. That's probably a little bit inconvenient. So let's go a little bit down to the RAM here. And I don't know if I want to use this. We need to understand the capacity, the speed, and the channels. So it says capacity is the total number of memory, speed is how fast it operates, and the channel configuration affects performance by allowing it. Now, I do want to use the AI thing again. Yeah, maybe they know what they're talking about. Let's go again. Maybe I could be tripping, but if y'all don't agree, then let me know. So I guess we're gonna, actually it's already highlighted, so we just need to write that part down when it comes to the RAM and how fast things should be going. I wish I had a charger. So RAM is defined by its capacity, which is total gigabytes, which you already kind of figured. So let's go here like this. So capacity is the total amount of memory. Is that really what I put? Oh yeah, the gigabytes. Okay, I'm like, what the hell is capacity? See, this is what I'm talking about. It's like, they have different words for certain things that I just kind of just know it as gigabytes. So when they say capacity, I'm like, what are we, like, I just be hella lost. So I got the capacity is the total number, or total amount of memory. So then that's pretty good. But no, yeah, I was really looking into that, and it was like 5 years or so, and it's kind of, it's like anything that you have to learn, it just seems like it takes like years on years. But I honestly don't think I would mind like putting my time towards that. It's just like, damn, like I wish I started a little bit earlier. Like I wish I started at 18 or something, so that 19, 20, 21, 22, I would have been 22 or 23 by the time I'm able to really do that and have that type of career. But hey, it's all good. If I start now, it's nothing wrong with starting now either. Like I'm 22. I don't know why I be acting like I'm still young. You know what I'm saying? Like I could still do it. And then even getting into that as well, it pays pretty good. So it's like for me, I might as well enroll into it. And just like learn and stuff like that. But I would hope that by the time they do allow me, I kind of already tried becoming a network engineer. I think that'll be dope. You said ice bucket challenge? Oh hell no. I could not do that. Actually, I think I could. I think I could do it. I think I can embrace the ice, but in the winter, well, it's not winter yet, but it's definitely cold. I would have to hit that in the summer. I would have to hit that in the summer, unless you're talking about the people's faces that you're probably seeing on the screen. Did they do it before? Imagine. I'm just playing. So allowing it to transfer data, you got to get that transfer data more or less, and then oh efficiently. So you got to go efficiently. Then it says dual channel uses two memories. Oh, they didn't even get into that, right? Yeah, no. Dual channel uses two memories um modules to double the transfer bandwidth, leading to higher performance and better responsiveness and smoother multitasking compared to single channel setups. Okay. They took a long time to just say that. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, maybe I need to know it, but I'm probably gonna write this a little bit shorter. Write this a little bit shorter because I don't know what the hell that was. So we got dual channel uses two memory two our modules. So we could do that to perform or to double the data transfer. So that's probably what we could get into. But okay, keep this pushing. The data. I cannot wait to upload the video that I'm about to upload today. I still have to edit it though, and I still have to add music and stuff like that, but it should definitely come out later tonight at 8 p.m. And I think it's gonna be something that a lot of people have been waiting to happen. So I can't wait to finally reveal that to y'all and show y'all what ended up happening, which I think is gonna be super dope. And then we can close out, man. Coming more closer to the end of that whole entire series, man, and be able to completely transfer to web dev. I mean to IT support. I think that would just be so cool. I cannot wait. I just love the idea of content and just chilling and just doing stuff. I really hate that I gotta go back to work tomorrow. That's the one thing that I hate. I love being able to just be at home, prepare content. You know, this is just super fun to do for me. And then also to, like I said, just not care about anything. Like I feel so bad for the people who really allowed their life to be equated to their YouTube or just their views and stuff. I'm like, nah, man, this is just simply fun. And if you ever hear like a lot of big YouTubers, they always say too, it was so much better when they had like a smaller audience, because it's like you get to really, for one, you get to really interact with them, but then two, it's like you're not caring about how big it gets. I'm like, well, obviously, I haven't had my channel get that big to be able to say I agree, but I feel like I agree low key. I do. I think it's definitely so much better to have such a smaller audience and to just grow slowly too. That's what I always tell people. It's like, don't shoot for that viral video, because you know how many people went viral and then they lost it all? Never shoot for that viral video. Build slowly. So it says capacity, gigabytes. We could get a little bit into this as well. The total. Oh, we are in RAM. I was like, the only thing I know about gigabytes comes to RAM, and it's like, this is RAM. So we don't gotta talk about it. What it is. So it says the total amount of RAM available in your system is measured by the gigabytes, which we already know, so we can kind of skip that and go into what it affects. So, oh my gosh, guys, but a game that I've recently been playing that goes hard is the total amount of RAM available in your system. Oh wait, hold on. That goes hard and that I love playing all the time is literally LA Noire. LA Noire is always a game that I spin back on and I always end up playing. And it probably to other people it doesn't have that much like replay value. But I don't know, for me when it comes to like a story-driven game, if that game tells like a really good story, I could play that game over and over. Like GTA 5 story, I played over and over. LA Noire over and over. Detroit Become Human, over and over. I think I did Mafia like twice though. Mafia's a little bit more harder, I feel like for me. I can't really play that one that much. But I haven't played the new Mafia though, so no spoilers if you played it. But no, so for me, man, those games. Wait, what the hell did I just write? Oh yeah, I'm like, well, I don't even know where I'm going. Actually, yeah, let's just stay here. I guess those would be the examples. But I'm just trying to write what's at the top of that. But no, yeah, for me, man, LA Noire is something else. Like I love that damn game. The story is amazing. I wish they could have finished it and or did something different. Like it doesn't have to be LA. You could do a different city. Do like I don't know, a random New York. New York, it would probably be fine. NYPD, I think is what it would be. I think that would be crazy if they did like another type version of LA Noir, but just a different character, different story. I think they could go crazy with that. But I'm not sure if there's that much of a fan base for it. And then it would have to come from Rockstar. So it's like Rockstar's already trying to do GTA 6 if that ever comes out. At this point, GTA 6 is taking so damn long with all these damn pushbacks. By the way, if y'all are new here, man, make sure you end up hitting that subscribe button. I'll come on live almost every single day to be able to learn IT fundamentals and to eventually, the goal is to try and become a network engineer, but I have to start with the fundamentals because I don't know too much about IT, and I honestly just feel like this would be a super dope path to come down, and I think I'm doing pretty well so far. So definitely hit that subscribe button. I've done this before with web dev, so you could definitely trust me on coming, live every day and actually going to get to where I'm trying to tell y'all I'm gonna get to. Might not be as fast though, because with web dev, it took me about 7 months. So if y'all count that as fast or slow, depends on what y'all would think. But it took me about 7 months to really get to where I wanted to be. But if I definitely added like React into that and did all the extra stuff that I don't know, probably would have took a whole year. But documented about 7 months of that journey and still going a little bit over it too, just because I still post some videos on it. But eventually we're gonna completely transition to IT support. And we, as y'all can see, are on day 13 or day 14. I keep saying day 13. We're on day 14, and I'm definitely gonna continue to stay consistent with it. And we're gonna get to day 200s as well. I plan on trying to study this for about, another 7 months. I had to give myself a mini break between, web dev before jumping to this type of studying here. And I at least study about an hour a day. Sometimes on my days off, I like to study a bit more, but I'm not sure about today. I might not be able to do too much more. Maybe like an extra 30 minutes. Depending, I kind of want to finish everything that's in like module 2 low key and then kind of do a little quiz for my next live stream for tomorrow. I will be on tomorrow at 12 p.m. EST, so definitely make sure you tune in. But I plan on taking like a quiz to see if I'm actually learning, what I'm learning. So we're getting into the megahertz with the speed here. So what it is, the frequency, well, cannot say that word at all. The frequency at which the RAM operates measured in megahertz, and then we're doing what it affects, so how quickly the RAM can be accessed by the CPU. It says Brenda commented a dot. She commented a dot. But no, yeah, so definitely I'm gonna stay super consistent on this. I cannot wait to get to where I want to get to. I guess obviously I can't sit here and just start immediately learning, for the CompTIA A plus. I can't start trying to study for that or immediately jump into networking because if I don't know the basics of a computer, how the hell am I gonna do all of that? So we're starting with the hardware, and then I also like learning about the hardware here, and it's so interesting to me since I really do plan on at some point, not charging people, but I feel like I would love to be able to break apart a computer, put the pieces in that they need. If someone needs me to add like RAM to their computer, probably do it for like a mini charge. And obviously, it's not going to be something that you do constantly because how many times is someone's computer going to need an upgrade or need to be fixed? But, you know, I think you could definitely do this as like a little side income, depending, for a couple bucks. Be like, yo, I'll buy the RAM for you on what works for your PC. You pay me, obviously, for what I bought, and then also pay me to install it, which I think would be super sick to do. So I'm really interested in this part of it as well. Because you never really know what type of skill you could end up learning that could be your profit one day or you never know what type of skill you could end up learning that you just like doing. So for me, that's what I'm really into. So we're gonna have to do an example with the DDR5, I mean DDR4. And we're doing 2000 or 200. And we gotta hit them with the megahertz. Is faster than the DDR4. Oh, that's strange. So wait, so which way do you want to go up? Hold on. What are we talking about? Because this one is, oh, never mind. I see. I see. Oh, I'm stupid. I thought that was saying the DDR4, I mean the DDR3, and then they're saying it's faster than the DDR4, so that was throwing me off. But I guess technically, if the megahertz could get that high on a DDR3, then the DDR3 would be better in the end. But I don't think it could get that high for the DDR3. But yes, this makes sense. Oops, did I click something? Oh, I thought I clicked explain this. Low-key want to see how that works if I click that, but let me stop. So we got into the examples here. Lastly, now we're getting into the channels about single versus dual. I still kind of don't understand this. I think everything else was pretty much self-explanatory. I think with single versus dual, I don't know if are they talking about like when you have multiple monitors, or is this simply about RAM? Is this simply like RAM has actual channels? That's like the only thing that is a little bit confusing for me, but we're gonna get into it. He says roadmap.sh website. Is that a good website to end up learning IT support? If so, I'll definitely look into it. Unless you're just saying I actually wouldn't be able to tell what else you're possibly saying if that's not a website. But I could definitely look into that if that's something that you're trying to put me on to. So it says what it is. We got dual versus single. Oh, so I guess it is a channel is legitimately like inside of the RAM, because it's saying it's the number of independent paths between the RAM and the CPU. Oh, okay, so it's not like single dual monitor. This is something completely different. Understood. That is great. Let's go number of independent data. And then paths between the RAM and the CPU. Perfection. You said try it. Okay, so it is a nice little website. So hold on real quick. Let me finish at least this right here, and then I'll look that up and see how it is. Maybe it could help me with this roadmap to what I'm trying to do. Hopefully that's what that is. I think that'll be super lit, because I honestly, the way that I'm kind of learning everything, I was starting it on Google IT support, but I thought you were able to do like the modules and just not really do the graded assignments. But no, they don't. They only let you do like module 1, and then after that, they don't let you go no more. So what I seen that the next one that they brought you into was hardware, and I guess they get you to learn how to practically just build a computer there. And then I think the next one is networking, and that's all for like the fundamentals of it. And then of course you got to do more of a deep dive if you want to pass the network plus, security plus, and stuff like that. But they give you pretty much like what you need to kind of start. So I'm like, that's dope. That would be dope. Oh my goodness, there's something in my eye, man. So we got path, and then it has a lower data transfer rate, so that's good. So, or not good, I guess. You might want to have a dual channel, because since it uses one memory module and has one path, it has a lower data transfer rate. So dual channel uses 2 or more. Wow, so you can get even more identical memory modules to create 2 data paths, doubling the theoretical memory bandwidth. So you might want to have like, well, I wonder how much more can you have, but I'm assuming the goal is to try and make sure you have a lot more. But of course that means it's going to be more expensive, so you might want to do it to what you plan on needing it for. That's why I guess specs is so important, because of course, you're going to want to buy all the stuff that's going to be super high in specs, but it's going to be expensive, so you might want to start slow, or probably, be like, I'm going to buy this first, wait until you can eventually get more money to buy the next thing, because it's expensive. I was just looking at the Ryzen CPU. It was like almost $800 or close to $700, depending on where you buy it from, and I'm like, that's insane. That is insane, but it's expensive as hell. And I always knew it too, because a lot of people would say, if you're buying a PC, especially a PC that's like built, like someone built it, you could like it's expensive. That's another thing too that I was thinking is like I could sit here and build PCs and then sell them to people. The only problem is that in the end, it's like I have to spend a good amount of money before someone probably would sit there and buy it from me. And you would have to make it like hella expensive. And I guess more people would probably prefer to buy it that way anyway, because they're like, at least I don't gotta do the installations and do this and do that. But it's gonna be tough, especially if you're in an area where people probably don't really care for it. You have to go places where people are gonna want that damn PC, or really put yourself out there. Like, bro, I'm gonna sell this PC for about like 2,000 or something, and it could be hella like stat, or you could probably do some of the basics and probably put some stuff in there that's like really high performance, like maybe a lot more of RAM so that they can have more gigabytes in. Or, I guess maybe probably wait to see if people would buy it first and then build it. But then it's like, what if it just doesn't go to plan and then now someone's waiting on their PC that you never built? But that's pretty good too to do as an income, is like kind of know how to build strong PCs or basic PCs and kind of tell people like I can get you this PC in about a week. Pay me this, and then you just kind of use their money to buy all the pieces. And then obviously make sure you have leftover money to where you're also making an income from it as well. That is not straight up just going straight to the pieces that you have. But that's something that you could do too that I'm definitely like really want to look into. It says important note, to enable dual channel you need to install RAM in pairs on the correct motherboard slots. Yes, I think I remember that. I think that's with RAM, I think it's 2 and 4 if you do two of them. And then I kind of forgot where the third one goes. I don't know if the third one goes in the first one, so it's 1, 2, 4, and then you do the third. But if it's one of them, you still put it in 2 by itself. Like, I don't know, it's crazy. I think it's how that goes. I could be completely wrong. So we got this down pat. Now that we finally looked into the RAM, we looked into the specs. I feel like RAM is kind of easier to read when it comes to the specs. At least for me, it feels a little bit more easier. CPU isn't that bad, but I think there's still some questions that I would have for it. But with RAM, you're probably just gonna want to buy a lot of gigabytes just in general, because you never know how much storage. It's just the storage, pretty much. And then it gets a little bit deeper than that, but let me go and see now. I'm gonna go search up what you were saying. You said roadmap. Wait, hold on real quick. Give me 1 second. I'm actually gonna jump to this camera real quick because I do want to also look at something else as I search this up. Real quick, I wanna. Oh, you know what? This isn't a bad little spot. And then you can create your own roadmap. This isn't bad at all. Is it free or you gotta pay? Probably gotta pay at some point. But real quick too, I also want to make sure, what is my next thing that I'm getting into? Technically, we already kind of got into the RAM, but they want me to get into more of the storage types. So we're gonna also look that up. I'm not sure about how Google's AI mode is. I mean, I think it seems like they've honestly been getting straight to the point so far. So that's not too bad. But I do try to find like certain websites instead. But I mean, so far it's been doing pretty good. So now let me hop back to these roadmaps again. So my goal would be, do they have software engineer? I mean, not software engineer. Oh, they do have front end here. What the hell? How did I never know about this? And then this one's more skill based. Front end, back end. So I said create your own roadmap. That might have to be something I do because it's not here specifically. Let me just click a random one. If I look at front end, is it like a bunch of people created this, or oh wow, they go crazy with the roadmaps here. And then I'm just kind of assuming. Also, you can click on it and they even send you to certain courses. But that, I think I would have to make my own because I don't see. And making my own, I think, literally means I'm making my own. So then that wouldn't be good because I need help. I legitimately need help unless I could search it out. A lot of this too is also seems like it's for like coding. So I'm like, I'm not too sure. This is data structures and algorithms. This is actually seems pretty good though if I ever needed to like learn anything when it comes back to coding, but I don't think this has anything to do with IT support. Yeah, a lot of this just seems like to be like coding. Damn, that's pretty dope though. I wish they had roadmaps for IT, but nope. I don't see it. Actually, what if I looked up, it says if you don't mind, find what you want. There might be other roadmap websites, like maybe. Yeah, maybe because I don't really see what I'm looking for. Let me look up roadmap here. IT support roadmap. Maybe they have it somewhere else. Like you said. But that isn't bad though. Developer roadmap seems pretty cool, but it legitimately, I think it's mainly more towards coding. I wish I knew about that when I was doing coding. That was crazy. I wish I had that. Alright, let me see here. This is one of them too. They do have a pretty good. Actually, I don't even know what the hell that is. They're like, this is like kind of what I've made. I made my little own roadmap before, but let me see. Foundational. Yeah, this all of this is just really trying to tell me like different websites for IT support. They're just trying to tell me like what certifications I should get. And it's like, yes, I already know that, but I want like a deeper roadmap too. If like for instance, if I'm doing hardware, I want to have a hardware roadmap, but I want them to know that hardware isn't like my keen thing. I'm not too sure. I probably have to do a lot more searching like offline instead because I want to find something that's like really specific for what I'm looking for. But now that we did that, let's jump back into this. We've been live for about an hour. So now we're trying to find the difference between the NVE SSDs and then the SATA SSDs, which I think we also took a note for that recently as well. If we did, then we might not need to get into this. But I swear it's like I'm missing notes. It's like did I rip a page out? I did what the hell? AMD versus NVIDIA before. But didn't I do NVMe versus SATA? I skipped the whole page. What the hell? How did I do that? I forgot that I had a lot of stuff over here. Yeah, but this is the basics of the computer too. Who the hell is NVM? I definitely know for a fact. Oh, right here. Okay. Yeah, I did. I did like Oh, well, this is SSD and then NVMe, but I didn't do specifically SATA SSDs. Okay. So then I guess that's something we're getting into. Is we gotta find this difference, but I'm not sure if I want to use the AI overview. Obviously, they probably are gonna have it correct. Might have some things in there that I don't know, but I'd like to also do websites as well. This doesn't seem like a bad website. So this is SATA. Then you get the NVMs. I just need to see if they find the difference. NVM is a storage protocol designed with SSDs in mind with the elimination of intermediating SATAs. NVM allows SSDs. So I don't really see. Oh, right, maybe right here. NVM drives take on a number of new form factors. While this says the SATA-based SSDs. Something else. I don't know. They're trying to they're not really showing me a huge difference yet. Oh, I guess they have a video for it. I hate videos. Learning from videos is dummy hard for me. NVM SSDs. Maybe it's kind of within these paragraphs. I'd probably have to do like my own little research. Who knows? I think this might be fine. We've been using the AI overview this whole time, and I don't think they failed me. So who knows? I don't like using the AI overview because I feel like it's like I'm not doing the research myself. But a lot of these sites, sometimes they don't really get into like the point. This is like differences in a PC gaming. Like I care about it in general, not just the PC gaming part of things. So like I don't know. Oh, oops, I accidentally clicked dive deeper. I thought that was gonna look a little different. So NVMe SSDs are significantly faster than SATAs because they use this while SATAs are limited. See how that gets like straight to the point? I guess that's the point of the AI overview, but I don't know. Some of these, they don't be getting to the point. That's why I need me a little course. But I'm pretty sure I could probably find a pretty good roadmap. I just would have to look at other websites. But that was like, I wish I had that when I was getting into, what is it called? I think web dev. Because they also have, I think they might have something on there too for React as well. I'm not sure yet, because I think it's right here. Let's see if they have one for React. Well, they do have it for like certain jobs here, which I think is just so cool, especially too. Oh, they do have cybersecurity. This actually is going to be helpful because I do want to get into cybersecurity. And then they also have one for data analysis, and data analysis isn't bad either. But I feel like a lot of that stuff might, be easily like, I don't know. I think I would want to look into cybersecurity. And then do they have React? Because I always wanted to just get into that at some point. Oh yeah, they do right here. And they also have Linux. Linux isn't a bad thing for me to get into. I'm sure they got cloud. I don't know if Cloudflare is the same thing though as cloud in general. But yeah, so I guess they do have some good things in here because I really would love to get into cybersecurity. Like I need a cybersecurity roadmap. Oh, and they have fundamental IT skills in here. What the hell? Cloud skills knowledge. So that kind of jumps down. Programming skills. Wow. I didn't even know. And then they have networking knowledge here too. Maybe I just gotta click this. This is Cisco's Networking Academy Introduction to Cybersecurity. 8 in-demand IT skills boost your resume in 2025. Top IT skills in demand. I don't know how the hell that's gonna teach me. But they do have a course, your personalized AI tutor. Oh, we have to sign up though. Does it sign up for everything? Oh no. Well, you could sign up for the introduction of cybersecurity. Then they have module 1, but of course, for me to do that, I would want to still learn a little bit more of IT. So I probably have to look into things like, but what is top IT skills? Like I don't care about that. That's just making me more sure about it. That's making me more sure about it. And then if I click computer hardware components, this is kind of where, oh, I'm stupid. I'm clicking this. I just need to go down. So this is what they're talking about. So computer hardware components, which is exactly where I'm at. Oh, so I did kind of find it. My bad, my guy. My bad, Bob. You're right. Then I don't know if this is like, because they make me have to sign up to do these, so I'll probably have to sign up another time. But they have videos, so computer components for dummies, and then they have what is computer hardware. Which this doesn't look like a bad website at all. What is a motherboard? I mean, I feel like I kind of actually I think I did go on this website before. And I think I kind of already know this knowledge. So maybe I'm done with hardware. Maybe that's it. I'll have to do some of that stuff off screen or off camera. But anyway, let's get back over here. So we got the NVMe's SSDs are significantly faster. What am I writing? Oh yeah, NVM versus SATA. And let's just get into this little bit of a debate. I wonder if there's some people who like, even though technically NVM, like how it says NVM is significantly faster than SATA, I wonder if there's some people who just completely disagree with that, or is it just like factual? But I feel like even with anything, there's so many things in life that could be so factual. And it's like this person is the greatest of all time because they have all of this achievements. And then it's like, well, not really. Like people just debate on it either way. This person could be like they're the best singer because they have, all these Grammys, all these rewards. And then it's like, yeah, but those Grammys could be, just what is it called? Not faked, but, it could be like they just gave it to them because of whatever, because of who they were. Or it could have been rigged. Right? People always got some that they have to say. I wonder when it comes to like PC parts, is there some people that are like, nah, SATA just is better. We mess with SATA. Or is it just something that's just known? I can't believe I'm actually this interested in tech though. Like if you asked me when I was younger, I knew that I did have like an interest, but I always used to look at that stuff and be like, yeah, but I just will never understand it. And then it's crazy that this is actually something now when I'm 22 that I'm really trying to like pursue and look into. And then actually enjoying too. Like it's not stressing me out. That was something about coding that I think used to kind of like make me upset is that with coding, it just used to be very stressful. Because if you really think about it, coding is kind of like trying to debug your code and figure out what the hell is going on more than you actually coding. It's like it's like problem solving. Like you're always trying to figure out what happened, how to fix this, how to fix that. I'm like, nah, bro. Like, it's not even worth it. It's not even worth it at that time. So we gotta go with MDM drives having much higher sequential read slash write speeds, with some reaching over 7,000 MB per second, I believe is what that's supposed to say, compared to 550 MB per second maximum for the SATA 3. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, SATA is not it. SATA is just not it. You can't tell me otherwise. The numbers are numbering, having much more higher. Yeah, those numbers are numbering. Read/write speeds. But yeah, I think how you show me that little roadmap thing. You're right, my guy. I don't know if you're still here, but that was kind of very helpful. I did not think if I were to click into that, I would find it. Granted, it doesn't go into too much detail as I was hoping, but maybe I gotta just kind of move around the website. Maybe I'll find some things doing it like that. And then they also have React there, which at some point I want to learn and like use to what the hell? Look at the roadmap and then learn React. And then I forgot what else was there too that I was looking at too. And then also they even have like beginner certifications here. They have the websites for like Hackney. Like this is pretty good. I don't know who created this, but they're low key goated. I mean, I know granted they obviously didn't make all those websites, but to make a roadmap to where you could guide people, super goated. I'm gonna have to like make a whole video on that. What the hell? I actually loved it, even though I haven't used it yet. I know it's goated. I just know it. And I'm surprised that you recommended me that. And you know how long I've been like coding and trying to learn front end and learn, just a bunch of things. For you to finally tell me that when I'm not learning it, like how many people see me. I'm assuming that you obviously are new, so I'm not saying it like that. But I'm saying like there's people who've watched me for months learning web dev, and I've never got recommended that website. That's crazy. So we got this. It says, while NVMe offers a substantial speed boost for demanding tasks like gaming and video editing, the difference may not be noticeable for everyday use. Oh, okay, because I have the NVM, I think. Actually, I don't even know. I think I lied to y'all. What made me think that? I don't know. I just assumed. Maybe I don't have that. I could, but not too positive. Well, was NVM? No, actually, never mind. I was gonna make a comparison, but I do not think so. It could be good though. Who knows? SSDs offers, but you wouldn't notice. I don't really need to write that down. So, and then we kind of already got that comparison that it could go up way higher when it comes to the MB per second. Then the the performance differences, I guess you can kind of assume, yeah, the SATA would just be slower in sequential operations, while this one's much faster depending on what you're using it for. So speeds up to 5 to 6% higher. So efficient for general use, but it is lower cost. This is ideal for larger tasks, gaming, video editing, and large file transfer. So depending on what you're using it for, if you're just gonna use it to look stuff up and probably do like assignments and stuff like for school, maybe the SATA isn't that bad. But if you're really planning on editing, playing games, and doing stuff like that, you're gonna need the SSD. So I'm assuming I do have this one because I have a gaming computer. So I would assume that I have that because that'd be crazy if I didn't. So I guess that's kind of mainly the main difference. I said interface and bus. So the SSDs use an older SATA interface, which I don't think I care. They use the much faster PCI peripheral component interface, which allows for more bandwidth and direct communication with the CPU. Oh, okay. I guess maybe that is a little bit important. That is a little bit of a difference there. So we're going to use SATA SSDs use the older SATA interface. Okay, so SATA SSDs use older SATA. I wonder, do they still make them with SATA SSDs? Probably if it's like a basic computer, like maybe if you just get like a regular like Dell computer. But if you're getting a gaming computer, I'm assuming, I would hope, that it comes with an NVM, because that would be insane. So you got an older SATA interface while NVMe uses the PCI, which is peripheral component, which I've been waiting. Oh, PCIe. I've been waiting to understand what that is. Like, what is the PCI broken down into? And that's great that they finally told me it's the peripheral component. It took days to learn this. So interconnect. I wonder what I gotta do today. I think I might have to end up doing a little bit of laundry, maybe a bit of grocery shopping, but nothing too crazy. So we go interface, which allows for more bandwidth and direct communication with the CPU. So it allows for more bandwidth and direct communication with CPU. So direct communication with the CPU. Perfection. It says drivers. SATA uses drivers designed for hard disk drives, while NVM uses drivers specifically designed for flash memory, making it more efficient for modern SSDs. Okay. So that's good to know. Real quick, I want to make this be... I want on my notebook for me to kind of understand a little bit. So we're going to do interface here, because I should have done that here. Oh wait, what the hell am I doing? And then I'm going to have to write drivers here. Just trying to make this a little bit more understandable from future Marzi, because future Marzi is going to be lost as hell if she ever looks back into these notes. I cannot wait to give myself a little quiz tomorrow, because I've been learning a lot. And the quiz is going to put me to the test to see if I'm actually, like, learning, rather than me just taking down notes. You know, I got to make sure that I'm actually taking in some information, and a quiz is honestly the best way to do that for yourself. Which is crazy, because I remember back when I was doing web dev, a lot of people were telling me not to quiz myself. They were like, oh, don't quiz yourself, just do it. I'm like, what? I'm like, quizzing yourself is this is something we do in school, my guy. Like, if it's used in school, that means it's very much, can be very helpful when it comes to teaching yourself. Obviously, some people do have a fear when it does come to test taking, and because of that anxiety, it could make them fail. But what we need to understand too is, like, if a school is doing it, it makes sense for you to do it as well, because that means it's really going to test where you're at. Especially too, testing where you're at is one of the best things that you could do. It's like literally take a test, even if you know nothing about it. It doesn't need to be a paid test, obviously. It could just be a regular test online. See what you get right, see what you get wrong. Because then it could show you from the beginning of your journey, when you first started, you weren't able to do this, that, this, that. Then by the time you take a test later, it shows you that you've learned stuff, and then it still shows you where you could learn more. So I'm like, I don't know why people are so, like, not fond of testing yourself. I think that's the best thing you could do. But that's why, for, like I said, my web dev journey, I let too many people tell me what to do when it came to learning, rather than learning for myself, that I think I made it very much more, like, harder for myself by trying to listen to everyone. And that's why, now, but it's a learning experience. So now I know. It's like, don't let too many people, of course, if someone gives you something that makes sense for you, then add it into your learning process. But don't let too many people add their input, because in the end, you learn a little bit differently than other people, or compared to other people. It will always be a little bit different, because some people just learn differently. That's why I love self-teaching yourself, because you get to move at your own pace, and you get to honestly pick, like, what you know works for you, and you can just move slow, move fast on certain things, because you know exactly what you're understanding and what you're not. Sometimes if you're in a class, sometimes the class isn't understanding something, but you do, and then you can't move forward. Like, that's how I used to feel in my algebra class, or not algebra, I think it was calculus class. They were really teaching us calculus, and I'm, like, understanding things. Well, in my pre-calculus class. And they were teaching us, like, pre-calculus, and I was really understanding things, but a lot of the class was all, like, kind of behind. So it would be annoying having to, like, keep doing stuff that I already knew. And I'm like, ugh. And then vice versa, there's been times where the class was moving forward, and then I was the one person who wasn't understanding something. So it's like, damn, the class keeps moving forward, I need them to slow down. And I would always be nervous to be like, what? Like, what are you talking about? So sometimes you just gotta, learning things yourself could just be so much better before really taking a course. So at least you could be kind of steps ahead of other people and give yourself some more time. But I think the hardest thing is, like, working a full-time job trying to study is one of the hardest things you could do. And I think is sometimes why I back out, well, not back out of things, but, there's certain, like, I could probably go to college and get a degree, or I could go for an apprenticeship. But I'd be like afraid to really like do stuff like that and learn stuff because it's like I kind of made my position like at a certain job and I've kind of rose up a little bit. So it's like, well, not rose up, but you get raises every year. So then it's like in my head, I'm like, it makes it scary to want to like try something different, even though in the long run it's gonna get paid more. But you just get nervous, you don't know if you should take that risk. And that's the one thing that kind of sucks when you like I wish I could have studied a lot of these things first before starting to work because I'm too afraid to take risks. It's like I have to really think like is this gonna and then taking risk isn't too good right now because I have an apartment that I gotta make sure I could afford, I got a car I gotta make sure I could afford. So if I took a risk and everything failed, I'm screwing myself and I have nobody to fall back on either. That's the biggest thing. Like if you have someone to fall back on, like then you could do you at the end of the day. Like take your risk, do whatever. But for me, like it's a risk. I have nobody to fall back on. I would have to I do everything on my own. Like it would be too crazy. Choose SATA if you need a more budget friendly option and you're only going to be using it for general computing, web browsing, or word processing, and your motherboard doesn't have an M2 slot for an NVM drive. Choose NVM if you want the fastest possible performance for gaming, video editing, 3D rendering. Yes, 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 I need it all. Ensure your motherboard is compatible with the MC2 or PCIe slot before purchasing. That's pretty dope. Yes, I definitely have the NVM. And I think my laptop actually said that somewhere too. I forgot where I saw it, but no, yes. So how long have we been streaming for? About I was gonna say a minute. About an hour and 30 minutes, so that's pretty cool. I just want to see the next thing I need to get into. I'm kind of like running through this module 2, and I think module 2 is supposed to be like a week. So the fact that I'm running through this is kind of crazy. But I think it's because I kind of learned a little bit of these things just slowly previously a week ago, so it's kind of a little bit like easier. Oh, I'm finally gonna be getting into like the wattage, the amperage, and connectors for the power supply at some point. But then module 3 is the scary part. Module 3 is supposed to be like the building and compatibility. So that might be where I will really be in like PC part picker and then probably just watching people build computers from like on YouTube videos, but I don't think I'll be able to show y'all that, but just to kind of see what they're talking about. And then lastly, or not lastly, they get me into module 4, which would be probably next week or the week after, my bad, for troubleshooting and maintenance. And then they have a little bit of hands-on simulators, which is like the game that I have, so we kind of don't need to do that. They have a virtual hardware lab. Actually, I kind of want to look at that right now. A virtual hardware lab? Oh, never mind, I guess the page is gone. The page is gone, I lied. But they do have, lastly, like data storage and backup, which I guess gets into the file system, the RAID storage, the external drives. So that's probably gonna be the last thing we do for hardware, and then from there we can move forward. But we're still in the beginning. We're not too deep, or as deep as I would want to go. That is crazy work. Pause 10,000 times. I'm not even the type of person to even be like that, but I'm not gonna lie. What I was saying wasn't right. Also, they even have like troubleshooting tools too. Sorry, because I kind of want to look into this. Because they even have, because this is specifically for cybersecurity though, but they have certain things where it tells you like the certifications you should get, and I'm pretty sure it probably like helps you kind of study for it. So they have like the official CompTIA A+, a CompTIA A+ course video on it. But then they also have things here for troubleshooting tools, which I had no idea about. So you have Radius, Kerberos, I don't know if I pronounced that right, ODAP. So they have pretty cool things, network protocols, network technologies, functions, IP terminology, the basics of computer networking here, articles, videos. So this might be really good for me to kind of get, like, trying to poke around for what I need to learn for, like, IT support. You got Windows, Linux, Mac, and stuff like that for the operating systems. Kind of poke around it and then kind of get into like see the networking knowledge that you're gonna need to even get here. Just kind of like I'll probably stay here and up and then eventually dive into the security skills and knowledge, which it really depends on where I want to go, man. But there's a lot of stuff to learn when it comes to security in that path. But I'm willing to learn it. I really am. But I think I need to start with, all this stuff kind of up here and, get a little bit more deeper for the networking engineer type of aspect or aspect of things. Unless this is kind of all you need to know for the networking knowledge a little, which I doubt. I feel like you might need to know a little bit more. And then kind of just, do all that, get into the network engineering. Because that's the thing, too. Like, people don't understand. Maybe people do, actually. What am I talking about? But that cybersecurity does have a lot of a form of networking. So I'm like, if I get into a networking engineering role and then I try to transfer to the security team, the cybersecurity team there, specifically where I want to work, they have a cybersecurity team. I might be really considered just based off of the knowledge I already have for networking and the not even just the knowledge but the worker experience of it, and then I can get into that security team, man. And I think I really could, like, based on where I specifically want to work, I think I could really go down this route. It just comes down to having to learn all of this. Like, that's gonna be hell. That is gonna be hell. But hey, I'll be taking y'all along that whole journey. But first, let's just focus on my first goal, which is to learn these damn fundamentals of IT. Because nah, we can't shoot that high yet. Can't shoot that high. But I do really want to do that, and I think I could do it. I really think I could. I just want to find something that's good for right now, or before I could really get into that career. Like, I don't care if I have to go electrical or networking engineering. Something that's good for like a good career right now. I really don't mind where I work, but I prefer something different. Prefer something different. So now we got into the SATA NVM. Let me go jump back here. What am I looking for? Oh, now we got to get into the GPU, VRAM, clock speed, and CUDA cores, I guess is how you pronounce that. And then lastly, the power supply. So I might save this. I might save this for tomorrow, or I might do this all off camera. Because I did want to end the stream when I finish this whole concept, but I feel like I might do this off camera. The GPU, VRAM, the clock speed, the CUDA cores, and then get into the power supply, wattage, amperage, and connectors, and probably do that off there. So by the time we come back, we could hop back with a quiz or a little assessment for tomorrow, and then get a little bit more deeper when it comes to the building and the compatibility with the assembled parts. So I think that is going to be really good. We're making a lot of progress, y'all. Making legitimately a lot of progress for learning everything that we are learning right now. I think that is super dope. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. And like, it's so crazy to even be, getting this far as well. Like, I don't know, man. I had no idea that I would really be learning like as much as what I'm learning like right now. And I just can't wait to continue pushing forward, y'all. This is crazy. We're on day 14. We got to get into day 15 tomorrow. Probably learn a little bit more today because it's my day off. I didn't want to stay on way longer, but I'm sorry, cannot do that. I got a video that I got to edit. I got to get a couple clips from something else too. So it's gonna be a lot in this video that I want to use. But when this video comes out at 8, hopefully y'all enjoy it because it should be ready by 8. Hopefully, I don't know what we got to do today. I haven't ate today, and I'm praying that I could just find some time to edit that video, get it done, get it pushed out for y'all because y'all are gonna enjoy it. Y'all are gonna love it. I already got the voiceover, my script in. I don't know if is everything glitching right now? Is everything glitching? I think my internet might be weak right now, y'all. My bad. Let me see what it sounds like. Oh, you hear my voice, but for some reason the screen is glitching. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. Well, it's all good. We're gonna be signing off anyway. So I wanted to say that if y'all are here, make sure y'all end up hitting that subscribe button because I will be documenting my entire journey of learning IT support. And the goal is to try and wait until I hopefully get into networking engineer position or even just a little bit of a position in IT because I think that might be my place of just where I want to go in my route and eventually try to get into cybersecurity if that were to ever be the goal. And, I just really want to focus on these topics and pivot a lot of my content towards this because this is like a dream of mine to get into. So make sure you end up hitting that subscribe button. I'm sorry for it kind of glitching right now. My voice, I know think it sounds clear, not too positive, but the camera is glitching, so hey. But yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. Hope y'all ended up enjoying this live stream. For the few people that popped in, that chilled with me, I will be coming on tomorrow, 12 p.m. EST or 12:30 p.m. I mean, 12:30 EST. Wait, what the hell? Why am I saying that weird? 12:30 p.m. EST. I should be coming on tomorrow, so make sure you end up tuning in. Catch y'all in the next one. Deuces.